Hey everyone, it's Andrea. I'm happy to see you. Thank you for watching this. I promised myself I would do a love and philosophy diary every Friday for the rest of the year. Today is September 5th, 2025. I also promised I would just do these impromptu, not make any plans, just talk about whatever is on my mind, heart, relative to the themes of this project, of course. Love and philosophy. I think today what I'm thinking of is the beyond dichotomy part of this project. So the title is Love and Philosophy Beyond Dichotomy. And due to a few things I read today and some other ideas that have been coming to mind, there's Hegel here too. Maybe that also has something to do with it. I was reading Hegel a little bit. But no, I think this beyond dichotomy, what it really makes me think of is not Hegel at all. It's actually my childhood, my growing up in the United States in the South. I don't know if you all know that I'm from the United States. And we grew up and we moved a lot. So I've lived a lot of places. I've also moved a lot. But I'm thinking about growing up in a small town in the United States with, I guess, I don't know, I don't want to talk about class, but something like middle class. I mean, my grandfather was a farmer. So I grew up on a farm with him, and today I've been thinking about them. I don't know, maybe I dreamed about them last night or something, I don't know, but I've been thinking about that community and how loving and wonderful they were. They weren't perfect at all. I could tell you good stories and bad stories, but I don't know. I'm just thinking about this channel and how hard some of these topics are and how it would be hard to explain some of it to a lot of the people that I grew up with there on the farm or whatever, but how they probably understand the ideas behind it even better than Hegel, for example. It's just, they're living it or I was living it back then. I remember my grandmother, I'm just thinking, I used to do this really intellectual project called Pulse in Berlin when I was in university, and it's this really hard journal to read. And I remember when I gave it to my grandmother, she sat down at the table in on her farm in her little kitchen, and she read that journal from the very first page to the very last page. I mean, not in one sitting, but she kept it there at her reading spot, and she read every single word of it. I have no idea if she understood it. I mean, she was reading philosophy then and stuff, and she never went to school or anything. I mean, she never went to college or anything, but she was really one of the smartest people I've ever known, and she had so much love. And I've been thinking today, like, what's the love and philosophy there? You know, what with all of that part of my life, because it's a big part of my life, even still now. And there's all these different worlds that I feel like I'm sometimes balancing and not doing such a great job with on this channel all the time because there's just so many different people who come here. It's a little bit overwhelming because it's my own fault because I'm doing so many different subjects. So some people come just for, you know, whatever, like the neuroscience or the philosophy or the art or so you have people sort of dipping in and out, but then there's also this community forming too. But I think it's a very strange project, at least on the YouTube, because it's so different and it's covering so much at once. And I was thinking of that in terms of relating it to my life and to all these weird worlds that I've always been part of since I was a little kid, and how this is just kind of a continuation of that. And that what I sort of understood in my body through things like my grandmother, you know, or my aunts. I have these wonderful aunts that are just so loving and they just try so hard to be good people and give. And it's not that they're perfect. No one is perfect. But there's something about care. They really care. That's the first inclination and they don't mind showing it to you. Thinking of that alongside philosophy and thinking of what we can do together as we use all these amazing ideas to actually make things make it easier to care for each other in our systems. Um, whether it's our economics or other parts of society. I don't want to get into all that here, but I think I'm just today rambling on about how there's a lot of love and connection, constellation. I talk about kaleidoscopic cognition a lot. As a kid, I sort of already started to feel that in as we moved, because we moved a lot, and I started understanding that there's so many different ways to see the world, but the connective landscape of all of that, the thing that's kept me wanting to do good and be good, and I'm not perfect either, but is that care that I saw in those people in that little town in the United States, in my country. Um, it matters a lot, that care, that very spontaneous, natural place that so many people there live out of. I don't want to I want that to be represented here too. That's all I'm saying. I want to find ways to do it. And if you have any ideas how to do that, how to I don't even know. It's more like the everyday life of care and how that is itself a kind of knowledge. How can I how can I bring that more into this project? Or do you feel it's part of this project? Or do you see ways that we could explore that together, maybe through our own experiences? I really don't know, but and again, I had no idea I was gonna say any of this because that's the point, but that's what's on my heart, and I wonder how it feels for you and if you have any ideas for me or stories to share about how love has been a kind of knowledge in your life. I think that's the main point. That goes to Hannah de Jaeger and that conversation we had and her piece about loving and knowing and even before I'd read that, this theme of really trying to understand what love is on a deeper level. Um, and that piece really opened that up in a beautiful way. So yeah, how do in our everyday lives, loving and knowing. Does anyone have any stories? Maybe you want to share them here somehow. I also just had the idea maybe I'll just pick up something and read it. I have all these books here. You can see, like, I don't know if you can see, because I'm working on some research. Let's just take this one. What is this one? It says poems. Yeah. Wow. Okay, Elizabeth Bishop. Well, let's see. And today's the 5th, so I'll just open to whatever I can't even see because my glasses are too strong. When you come to the Netherlands, they give you very strong glasses. These glasses are too strong, but they're what I have. Okay, I'm just gonna open and read. Okay. Questions of travel. There are too many waterfalls here. The crowded streams. I'm just gonna take these off. Questions of travel. There are too many waterfalls here. The crowded streams hurry too rapidly down to the sea, and the pressure of so many clouds on the mountain tops makes them spill over the sides in soft, slow motion, turning to waterfalls under our very eyes. For if those streaks, those mile-long, shiny tear stains, aren't waterfalls yet, in a quick age or so, as ages go here, they probably will be. But if the streams and clouds keep traveling, the mountains look like the hulls of capsized ships, slime-hung and barnacled. Think of the long trip home. Should we have stayed at home and thought of here? Where should we be today? Is it right to be watching strangers in a play? In this strangest of theaters, what childishness is it that while there's a breath of life in our bodies, we are determined to rush to see the sun the other way around? The tiniest green hummingbird in the world, to stare at some inexplicable old stonework, inexplicable and impenetrable as any view, instantly seen and always, always delightful. Oh, must we dream our dreams and have them too? And have we room for one more folded sunset? One more folded sunset, still quite warm? But surely it would have been a pity not to have seen the trees along this road, really exaggerated in their beauty, not to have seen them gesturing like noble pantomimists, robed in pink, like noble pantomimists robed in pink. Wow, this is a long one, but it's weird. It's about traveling and home and all these things I was already thinking about. Okay. Not to have had to stop for gas and heard the sad, two-noted wooden tune of disparate wooden clogs carelessly clacking over a grease-stained filling station floor. That also reminds me of that little town, like somehow the filling station, gas stations. In another country, the clogs would all be tested. Each pair there would have identical pitch. A pity not to have heard the other, less primitive music of the fat brown bird who sings above the broken gasoline pump in a bamboo church of Jesuit Baroque. 3 towers, 5 silver crosses. Yes, a pity not to have pondered, blurredly and inconclusively, on what connection can exist for centuries between the crudest wooden footwear and, careful and finicky, the whistled fantasies of wooden cages, never to have studied history in the weak calligraphy of songbirds' cages, and never to have had to listen to rain so much like politicians' speeches, 2 hours of unrelenting oratory, and then a sudden golden silence in which the traveler takes a notebook, writes, "It is lack of imagination that makes us come to imagined places, not just stay at home." Is it lack of imagination that makes us come to imagined places, not just stay at home? Or could Pascal have been not entirely right about just sitting quietly in one's room? Continent, city, country, society, the choice is never wide and never free. And here or there, no. Should we have stayed at home, wherever that may be? Wow, I can't believe that's the random poem that I just picked up and read. I have to think about that. Birds, home. Yeah, okay. That's it for today, everyone.